I am so happy to be here, guys. My name is Taria VisionAvant, and I'm so grateful to be in the space that we are in. We work with speakers, we work with coaches, we work with network marketers, and we show them how to produce profitable books to grow their businesses. And guess what? Today, we have an amazing guest that's going to be joining us. In fact, not only is she a guest, she is also one of our BPC, stands for Book Profits Club. She's one of our BPC coaches, as well as she'll be one of the speakers at the Author All-Stars Conference coming up. Yes, darling. Listen, if you have not gotten your tickets for Author All-Stars, you definitely want to get your tickets, guys. I mean, the space is amazing. The speakers are going to be amazing. The award ceremony is going to be lit. And guess what? Every single one of our authors are going to be included in the Author All-Stars magazine. So if you want to get your ticket, all you got to do, guys, is go to I'mAnAuthorAllStar.com. Every single person, whether you get a VIP or general admission, as long as you're an author, you're going to be included in the magazine. All right. So let me go ahead and step out of the way of greatness, y'all. I told you we got a great speaker here today, and I'm going to be asking her a couple of questions so that you can kind of get a little appetizer, baby, on what to expect from her at the Author All-Stars Conference. Guys, she is one of my East Coast. Lord, let me take a trip. Think I need to go to the West Coast because she ain't nowhere near close to the West Coast. When y'all hear her accent, you're going to know she's all the way East Coast, okay? But this is my girl, all right? I am so grateful that we've had an opportunity to connect further and just really learn more about her brand and how she is helping entrepreneurs all over the world build platforms utilizing webinars, okay? Now, if you are saying to yourself, you know, I've always wanted to learn how to get into the space of webinars, learn how to be able to get them to convert so that I can make more money, she's definitely the person with the plan, okay? She is a speaker. She is a coach. She is also an author, duh. And she's going to be speaking at the Author All-Stars Conference. So everybody, I want y'all to give it up. We're going to give a big round of applause for Nakisha C. Williams. Hey, girl.
What's up?
Hello, darling. How are you doing on today?
Hey, everybody, and I'm all the way from the East Coast. Okay.
All the way from the East Coast. Right. Listen, I know I didn't give you justice, Keisha. If you could, do us a favor. Tell everybody a little bit about who you are and how did you become known as the queen of webinars? Go ahead and hook us up.
Absolutely. Well, as I like to say, I'm just a chick that lost the same job twice, building a successful business from the comfort of my own home. And about, I stopped doing the math. So a little bit over 11 years ago, I left corporate America on leave of absence, and I'm still on leave of absence. Hashtag longest leave ever, y'all. And I knew then that I wanted to be able to provide for my kids. I wanted to be available to my kids. I have two wonderful children. Of course, I would say they're wonderful, but no, really, seriously, they are. They're 16 and 22, so they're kind of big, y'all. But I knew that I wanted to be here, be present for them. And so when I went on leave of absence, I kind of like dabbled in the entrepreneur space. Like this was not a vision, a dream, or goal. It's one of those things where when you jump, there was no parachute. Okay. The company that I was working for went out of business. And so I really didn't have anywhere to go back to. I was overqualified for all of the jobs that I was applying for. Because your girl I got a bachelor's degree from Old Dominion University. I've got a master's in business and administration with an emphasis in finance. That just sounds real complicated, right? It's just a lot going on. So every time I would submit an application, I would always be denied, right? But one thing that told me is that was not the place that I needed to be. And I was cool with that. And so I started working with the team in Maryland, and I was teaching people how to make six figures using something called webinars, y'all. And I'm gonna date myself real quick. This was back when it was a WordPress plugin. Now, all my senior entrepreneurs, y'all know about some WordPress plugins, okay? Like that's old school because they got SaaS softwares now. But I was teaching Taria, I was teaching them how to build a six-figure webinar, and I wasn't making six figures in my business. And the way that my level of integrity is set up, that doesn't work for me. So a colleague and I, we went out and we always test strategy before we actually put our stamp on it, right? So I went out and I did 8 webinars. Yep, I did. I did 8 webinars in 30 days. I made $15,000 in commission. I need somebody to type commission, right? I wasn't even selling my own product. $15,000 in commission using webinars. And y'all, this was back when it was Google Meet or YouTube Creator, something. I mean, Hangout, Google Hangouts. Okay. So I've been in this business for a long time, but you remember Google Hangouts?
Yes, I remember the Google Hangouts. I do.
We were doing Google Hangouts 2 or 3 times out of the week, and we were getting people to show up, getting people to get on our list. And that was one of those. Oh, hold up, this Joan might actually work, okay? And it was all she wrote from there. I literally developed a curriculum around showing people how to use webinars so that they can have their first 5-figure launch.
I love it. And I think it's very important that everybody understands that with this day and age, especially, like, if we are not taking a hold of this opportunity to leverage the internet and webinars to grow our business, y'all, we playing with ourselves, right? So now you were able to test that out, play around with it, and now you realize, okay, wait a minute, we get money, we're doing big things. Now I know that you have decided that you wanted to help educate other individuals, especially speakers, coaches, networkers, and authors. So what gave you the passion, Dakisha, to want to help others? Because you could have just kept this to yourself and said, I'm just going to do the webinars by myself. But now you have courses and programs.
So, it's a little thing called notification of payment received. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Like I was doing a launch. And the first time I launched my course, I was selling this course for $35 a week, y'all. Like, I'm telling y'all all the real deal stuff. Like, you gotta start where you are. Same program, I'm selling it for $35 a week, right? I find this process that helped me like really organize and structure the launch. And so the first time we did it, it was $10,000. And it was all from like me doing the work and then me making my pitch or making my offer from this actual training that I did. And so the training was available for replay and for people to watch it. Mind you, I'm out here at a concert and I don't know, I think it was Nelly. It was Nelly one summer at a concert. You couldn't tell me nothing. We just out here singing. And my watch keeps going off. And like I'm getting payments of notification received from PayPal that someone just joined my new program from my webinar presentation. And it literally like went off like a several times during this concert. And I'm like, yo, you mean tell me that I can actually make money while I'm out here, sipping on wine outside in the lawn with chairs, hanging out with my auntie? I was like, nah, this is too much. Like you can't, once you learn it and you earn, you have to return. Like learn, earn, and return. And that's one of the things that one of my mentors I learned from Dr. George C. Frazier. And so once I mastered the process, I was like, yeah, no.
I was going to say, yeah, you can't keep it to yourself. You probably was like me.
Right?
Dakisha, I used to say, back in the day, honey, they used to say I was bossy. I said, no, I just was one that used to always be trying to tell other people the stuff I knew. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't bossy.
No.
I just would insert
leadership skills. It's called leadership skills.
That's leadership. I just inserted myself without being asked. Then, right. Now I let people ask me. Absolutely. And let me shout out some people. I'm going to tell you, look, y'all, we tried to stream it, and I promise you I used the right code and everything. It's still, but that's okay. We're going to make sure this replay is available. But let me shout out some of you guys that are watching live. And so we have Kimberly Simmons in Atlanta, Georgia, TNT Signature Look, Holland, Michigan. Hello. And I know we have a couple more people that are watching live on YouTube, but if you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, we are all over the place. We definitely want to welcome you. Hey, y'all, how you doing? Okay. Now, Dakisha, so I also know that you happen to be an author, and I hope that you plan to bring plenty of books to Author All Stars. Okay. No, I was just throwing that in. Okay.
Of course. I'm going to come to the Author All-Star Conference in Maverick. Matter of fact, I might order some and ship them down before me. Okay.
Girl, go ahead and do the doggone thing. Okay. Tell us a little bit about the books that you wrote about and that, you'll have with you at the conference.
Okay. So funny enough, I've actually have authored or co-authored 3 books and working on 4 and 5. Now, mind y'all, I was the one that was kicking and screaming when it was time to write a book. But as soon as I posted that I had written my book, like my proof copy was in, it's called 40 Ways to Generate Revenue. I literally had someone reach out to me on LinkedIn and asked me to come speak at their event in, I think it was like Norfolk, Virginia. And that was like within 4 or 5 hours, like literally a blink of an eye.
Sorry, I just got to throw the horns up because did y'all hear what? Can you repeat that again? Because I think people don't be understanding. So you did what? Now, what did you do? You have posted your book, and what had happened
was post a little video. Y'all know I don't be knowing what I'm doing, but all I did was post a little video, a little boomerang. My book, my daughter did it, and I posted on on LinkedIn, and someone hit me in my DM and was like, "We would love to have you come to Virginia Beach and speak at our women's conference." And so, ever since then, let me tell y'all something. It's all she wrote. I got like 4 books in the pipeline. They dropping. I've also was a co-author in Speak Up with Black Speakers Network with Brian Oles. And I love the title. It's called Why Catch Flights When You Can Host Webinars. Okay. Yes, girl. That's gonna be my next talk, right? And then
I love it.
We did a special collaboration book because I deal with anxiety and have dealt with depression in the past. So we did a very special collaboration book doing mental health awareness, and it was called Out of the Shadows and how everyday entrepreneurs are dealing with anxiety, PTSD, and depression. So, this has definitely opened up doors to have, deeper level conversations, to position yourself as an expert. And funny enough, when I used to go to conferences, Taria, I don't take no business cards. Like I didn't take business cards. And to this day, like I got some old ones that's like brown and pink. That ain't even my color. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, brown and pink. That definitely ain't your color. Yeah.
I keep, let me tell you something. I got books in my car, I got books in my purse, I got books in my luggage. I probably got books in, my kids were selling books. Like one of my daughter's classmates purchased my book that was a business major. Okay.
Oh, so I love everywhere. Shout out to Juba. Bruce Love TV. Hello, and welcome to everybody else that is watching us. Today we're talking with Nikisha C. Williams. She is the queen of webinars, and I just asked her a question about books, but I'm going to go back to the conversation or the topic and literally talking about how to be able to use webinars. Now, she gave me a list of questions, y'all. I'm going to be honest, I ain't got the questions, so I'm just going to be asking what I think is going to be good for you guys so that you can actually prepare and come to the conference. I mean, you want to be at the Author All Stars conference, and we'll talk to you guys about how you can get a ticket. But one thing I want to talk to you about, Nikisha, and I know that you're going to be talking to everybody that's coming a little bit about more strategy, right, when it comes to webinars. But what are some of the mistakes that you see entrepreneurs make when they decide to get into the space of doing webinars? And I know you got tons of mistakes. So hook us up with, like maybe a top 3 mistakes.
Where do I start? All right, so a couple of mistakes. All right, so mistake number 1 is expecting that it's going to be perfect. And so a lot of people go into hosting their webinars thinking that their first time around is gonna go without something, but it's technology. It's something that you're new to, so don't allow perfectionism to keep you like stuck, because a lot of people will delay the production of their broadcasts because they're waiting for every email to be this and every PowerPoint. Let me tell y'all something. I done did the same webinar and that slide got the same typo on it and I still ain't fixed it. Okay?
And every time you be like, oh, my bad, y'all.
Girl, bye. Like, stop it. Cut it out. Like, and that's one of the biggest things, like, oh, but my PowerPoint. Let me tell you something. I've done webinars where it's just a talking head. I've done webinars where, the camera is on, or if I got some people that's just like, oh, I just got to put on makeup and all this stuff. I get it. Turn the camera off. Use your slide deck. But the biggest thing is you just have to do it. Okay. And then here's the mistake number 2. Ready? Mistake number two is they do it one time and then they say, oh, nobody showed up.
Mm.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a
Mm.
second. Number one, do you have an audience? Because this is probably your first time, right? You probably haven't been building your list. You probably haven't been doing all the things that you need to be doing to market your business and or market the webinar. So that's number one. Number two, it's a matter of this is the first time that you're doing. So you have to do it consistently. Like when you were riding a bike, did you get on it one time and be like, oh, this don't work? No, you probably had training wheels, right? And then the training wheels started to bend, and then the training wheels came off. It's the same thing. So one of the things that I tell, people who are just starting in this space, I tell them straight up, what did I tell y'all earlier? I did 8 webinars. So I tell them, do it 8 times. Do it 8. They think
Mm-hmm.
I'm crazy. I said, but let me tell you this. Would you rather go out here and run an ad to a webinar when you've never done it before and you haven't dealt with the glitches, you're not comfortable with your presentation, you and oops and you can't click, and get all of that out of the way the first, the second, and the third
Mm-hmm.
time. Then you do
Mm-hmm.
your massive push to get your 30 people and your 50 people on when you're comfortable with the process. All
Yep.
right. So don't just expect that it's gonna happen like that in a matter of your first or second time. So then here's the other thing that I hear all the time. But I don't have a course ready. Like my course is not recorded or it's not together. So let me say it again. You might not hear me. So let me tell you, when
Mm-hmm.
I launched the first program, I actually recorded live with them. And I love that because I can cater and change my content towards the
Yes.
individuals that are in this particular, in that particular beta launch or whatever you want to call it. So don't let that stop you. You'd be surprised at if you just get out there and put yourself out there, like push yourself, market yourself, telling people what it is that you do. You'd be surprised who will hit
Mm-hmm.
you up in your DM. You'd be surprised who are lurking on your website. And don't always think that everyone that shows up they're going to purchase automatically. But I'll teach you that at the conference. I'll teach you how that works.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Well, shout out. We got a couple more people that came on here as well. Hey, Dennis and Rosalind, how are you guys doing? Welcome to the broadcast. And so, guys, make sure you type your city and state. Give us a thumbs up on the video. If you're watching on Facebook, share this, tag a couple people, invite them to come see this information. We have the queen of webinars, the Keisha C. Williams. Now I don't know if she go by the other name still, but I told her she need to be called the queen of webinars because right now we need to know how to be doing need webinars. So the question I just asked her were, what are 3 mistakes, right? And I will say this, if I could ask you, and without giving too much, because I know you're going to break it down at the conference, what is the first step? So what would you say will be the first step to putting together an effective webinar? Is it, having the right software? Is it marketing? Is it picking the right date? Is it having the right presentation? What would you say is the first number one thing that most people need to be focused on when it comes to putting their webinars together?
To be honest, this might actually surprise some of you. And it's honestly, what are you going to offer at the end? Because
Mm.
I'll tell you like this. The most important aspect is what are you going to be selling at the end? And the reason why I say that is because everything else falls on that. So if you've ever heard the saying, you start with the end in mind, because your content
Mm-hmm.
is going to be created based on the solutions that you provide, right?
That's
So
good.
you have to think about like what are you going to be selling? And it doesn't matter what you're selling. You just need to be really clear on what it is and what you want it to look like, even if it's not in existence. So I would say that is the absolute most important. And some people are like, "Well, what? What do you mean? You can't develop a presentation or content around something and you don't know what you're selling." Because you're going
Hello?
to be teaching based on the solutions that you're going to be providing when you're working with your client. That's what your content
Mm-hmm.
comes from.
Oh, you got to
know?
know what you're offering. And I'm glad you said that too, because a lot of times, I know that we think that, when we're getting in the beginning phases of putting these webinars out, maybe, okay, I want to just practice. Keisha said, at least just do it, right? Let me just do it. And we do it and we don't make an offer. And I believe, this is my own personal belief. I believe that when you do a training or when you give value, especially in the form of a webinar, and at the end, you do not offer people an opportunity to work with you, there's two things. Number one, I believe it's a little selfish. I think it's selfish. The reason why is because people respect what they pay for. People think about it. Why is it that during the pandemic and whatever we went through, I don't know if it was recession or what, it didn't seem like it, because every time I went in the mall, guess what line never stopped? Louis Vuitton. And guess one thing about Louis Vuitton? Louis Vuitton don't go on sale. It never goes on sale. In fact, they throw away, they chop up, not only throw away, they chop up their unused materials, whether it's bags, shoes, whatever. They just strip it all up. And why am I telling you guys that? Because people go to Louis to get the logo and the emblem so that they can show you that they got Louis. Well, that's the same way it is when we're offering our products and our services. We want people to be proud that they've made an investment into what we're offering. And so I think also, on top of it being selfish, I believe that if we're calling ourselves entrepreneurs, but we're not selling, then we're not entrepreneurs. We're more so, what's the word? I don't, I know it's not a hobbyist, but that's what I
Yeah,
think it is. It's a
like,
person who becomes a professional hobby goer. You know what I mean? And, and so
and I
I
want you to
just,
think about it like this too. Like, think about all the work that you're doing in giving that signature presentation, giving that talk,
mm-hmm,
right? You do all this work, regardless whether it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 45 minutes, and you don't make an offer. Do you know? And I want y'all to paint this in your picture. If you don't hear anything else I tell you today, let me tell you what they're going to do. They're going to sit through
mm-hmm. I
your
know what you're
entire
going to say.
they're gonna sit through your entire presentation after you done gave all this good juicy stuff, and you done walked away, ain't made no offer, no money, but you feeling good. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna Google where they can go to and get the solution.
They're going to
They're
find
gonna
somebody
write their
else. They
call with
show
somebody
is.
else.
They show. And so why would we, that to me,
Right.
again, that's selfish, right? Because why would you not get in
Right.
front of, they want it. Do you know, Nikisha, people want to spend money,
They
but
do.
they
They just
want to
don't want to be
spend
told
money
to.
with people that they can trust,
They don't
And
want
so
to be
that's the point
told
of
to.
those
They want
webinars.
to buy. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, look, Nikisha, I know that you're going to light us up at the Author All Stars Conference. I cannot wait. Tell us real quick, what specifically can they expect to learn from you at the Author All Stars Conference? And also, if somebody wants to reach out to you now, they might be like, child, I can't wait till I need to get with Nikisha now. I need some help now. Because listen, I'm a big advocate of seizing the moment. So tell us again, what can we expect at the conference, as well as how can they get in touch?
Absolutely. So let's see. It's going to be three things that I know that we are going to cover when we get down there, or when we get there. Number one is how to use your book to leverage and monetize using webinars. A lot of people don't realize that you've got content right in your book that you could be utilizing every single month. I've worked with Saria, so I know how many chapters that she requires. So I'm going to show you literally how you can come up with 10 to 12 different webinars, and you don't even have to keep doing the same webinar. That's crazy, right? All right. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to show you literally how you can generate your next 25K in 90 days using webinars. And honestly, you guys, a lot of people think that making $8,000 or what is it, 8,333 is what they teach us. They think it's super hard to do that, and actually, it's a lot easier to sell a $10,000 and $20,000 program. I'm just telling y'all. But I'm going to show you how you can generate 25K in 90 days, and then I'm going to show you how you can do that, and you don't need a huge following, but you have to be willing to do the work. Right? The universe rewards those who take action. And this is what I love about the Author All Star Conference, is because Taria is a lot like me, meaning she is an implementer, right? She is someone who's going to give you strategies and to implement immediately. And so that's one of the things that I make sure that I do, because idea plus implementation equals income. Idea plus implementation equals income. I truly believe that God has given us our ideas, our gifts, our programs, our books, and everything to help other people. But if we don't implement what we learn, it is irresponsible on our part and it will not generate income in your business. All right. So I'm going to show you how you can generate between 100 and 200 leads in 30 days. Again, that's all you really need in order to have your next 5-figure launch. And then I'm going to show you how you can use your book and you can create 10 to 12 webinars that you can utilize over the next 12 months. Is that fair enough? Is that good enough? You can find me on Instagram. I am at DE_Keisha on all platforms. But right now I can see the Instagram one. So hit me in the DM. Matter of fact, hit the follow button too. Then hit me in the DM. Okay. And let me know if you want to get started using webinars before the conference. And we can have a conversation and see what that looks like. It's one of those things. I've been in business for over 10 years, right? Probably 11 plus or something like that. And I've been using webinars, and we talk about, some people say webinars are dead. If webinars are dead, why is it? This is the last thing I'm going to say, because y'all might put me off whatever platform y'all on. Here's what I find funny. Y'all all signing up for somebody else's webinar, and you in somebody else's funnel, but you won't get on your own platform and host your own and close more people into your course. You heard it. You heard it here first. So come on down to the Authors All-Star Conference so that you can learn how to implement it in your business. Okay?
Listen, that was the Keisha C. Williams. I'm telling you guys, and the great thing about what the Keisha does is it all pairs up with what we teach with our book Profits Club members on how to create what we call a success funnel. And there's different ways of how you promote or offer your products, your services, right? Now, regardless if you are a speaker, if you're a coach, maybe you're in network marketing, you might even be like, Taria, I'm just an entrepreneur. I do have a book and I want to learn how to leverage my book, or I'm working on one. How can I leverage that book to help grow my business? Believe it or not, webinars are definitely a platform that will allow you to do just that. In fact, I do a webinar at least twice per month on top of all of the other automated systems. So a webinar allows me to be able to communicate with people. A webinar, and one of the things that Keisha will be talking to you guys about is having an actual webinar a platform, and not just a Zoom, or not just let me go live stream on social media like we're doing. Webinars are designed for people to be registered for, so that you can track them and you can see who was on and how long they stayed on. There's so many cool things that you can do when you have the right software. And of course, she'll be talking to you guys about that at the Author All-Stars Conference. Now, if you haven't noticed the link for the registration right here, baby, in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm an authorallstar.com. I'm telling you guys, you want to register. Now, let me shout out some of the people that are joining us live. We have Latoya Frazier. She says idea plus implementation equals income. Beverly Shepherd says yes, yes, yes. All right, we've got IMT B. I guess she got the emoji with the speaking. I guess she like, girl, speak it. That's what she was telling Keisha. Girl, you better talk that talk, walk that walk, because that's what we do when we walk that walk. All right, and Dennis and Simplicity Witherspoon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the chat. Thank you guys for being here. And mostly, you want to get your tickets. Right now, we still have early bird tickets. And I just want to say something. If I could just say this real quick as I get ready to wrap it up. The price point that we have available for this conference, y'all, I just invested into a conference that costs 4 times what we're actually charging, and it's going to be way less information. And a lot of times I find that within our own community, that's what we have to do with our people, right? And I can't wait for the day that we start supporting each other just like we support these higher ticket events, right? No shade, no tea. I just had to get that off my chest because I just invested into this conference. I don't know who none of these people are that's speaking, but it's 4 times the price. And I'm like, I gotta be there, right? Well, let me tell you something. If you've never invested that type of money to go to a conference, make an investment to come to this. I promise you this. What can you expect at the Author All-Stars Conference? Well, you can expect to get an award if you're an author, because every single one of our registrants, whether you're general admission or VIP, you actually get awarded for being an author. We also have different categories, and for the first time ever, we're going to be allowing for you guys to send out votes to vote for you as the author of the year. Voting actually starts in November, okay? So the author of the year, somebody's going to get this amazing recognition as the author of the year. So you want to make sure that you stay tuned, but you must be registered in order to even get the invite to go ahead and put your name out there for author of the year. But we have other categories as well. We're going to be having the queen of webinars, Dakisha C. Williams. We also have Bruce Hill, who you guys saw last week on our live broadcast, who's talking to you guys about selling. We're going to be having some printers in the house. And so one of my favorite printers that does some amazing quality work, they're coming into the conference. I'm going to be having one of my editors, an editor that I've been working with for years, where she's going to talk to you about the different styles of editing and what you want to pay attention to. She's going to be coming out to the conference. We're going to have a publicist out there talking to you guys about getting media exposure. Hello, somebody. We're going to have so many great speakers. I can't wait to make those official announcements. And most of all, let me tell you who else we have that are amazing as speakers. Our Book Profits Club members. You get to hear it from the members of BPC, where they're going to be talking to you about what they do and how they've been able to leverage their book to build their businesses. Well, if you haven't already went to the website, you still got time. Go to I'm an Author All-Star while we still have early bird tickets. Those prices are going to go up. If you are coming in from another state out of Georgia, we also have room blocks available. That means discounted rooms. Hello, somebody. And so just make sure you stay tuned. In fact, I believe Wednesday is when we'll be sending out the discounted rooms, and it will be a first come, first serve. So you want to lock those up fairly quickly. And the most important, the Author All-Stars magazine. So every single one of you guys that get your ticket, you're going to be in this magazine. You're going to see an article from Dakisha. She's going to be talking to you guys about more things with webinars. And she's going to, in the magazine, she's going to give you guys a free bonus giveaway. She didn't know it, but she does now. All right, guys. Well, with that stated, my name is Taria VisionAvant. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. I can't wait to see you in December in Atlanta, Georgia at the Author All-Stars Conference. You guys have a wonderful day. God bless.